Hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Lazar and this is part 2 of the Kharazim patch review. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. The first order of the day is the new battleground we will get starting next week, which is the Infernal Shrines Battleground. Now this battleground uses the same tileset and artwork as the previous Battlefield of Eternity. However, this one is a much larger free lane map. And while we didn't get it exactly with the Kharazim patch, we had the opportunity to test it on the PTR. Now I played several games, around 40 games on that specific map, and I just want to share with you my thoughts on the actual battleground. Now it's no secret to anybody that I don't really like Battlefield of Eternity, and I think it's one of the weakest maps in game. However, I feel very differently about the Infernal Shrines. Now I had a blast playing this battleground. The three Punishers, the three distinct Punishers, you got Arcane, Mortar and Frozen, are amazingly fun. These guys are like the best super creeps we ever got, just because they actually chase heroes, they jump the heroes, they focus them down, and they spawn a ton of AoE, not just a circle here, a circle there. Okay, they spawn a ton of AoE and you actually gotta move out of it because it really hurts. Okay, so that implies some skill from the actual player, some awareness, knowing how to position, and sometimes puts players in an awkward situation. Okay, they have to choose between two evils, something like go close to an enemy hero or actually stand in the AoE. So I absolutely love it. Okay, their sieging power is okay, and again I think they bring a lot of actual challenge to the game. Alright, now how do you spawn these Punishers? These Punishers will be spawned at the Infernal Shrines. Now shrines activate periodically on the map, and somebody actually needs to click the shrine in order for the shrine to actually start spawning these little minions. The first team who actually kills 30, okay, 3-0, is the team who will spawn the Punisher. Okay, and this can create also some really nice tactical situations. Okay, teams can either go in the middle of an all-out team fight, or they just can stand on the side and cast AoEs, you know, just try to go solely for the objective. And I have seen that plenty of times. Okay, these different ways of approaching shrines. Now my problem was that I never once felt that I could actually forsake a shrine. Okay, just forget about it and forget about summoning a Punisher and do something else that will bring me similar or more benefit. Now I love the fact that on maps like, let's say, Cursed Hollow, okay, on Cursed Hollow it's a well-known tactic that you can let go of a tribute, okay, and instead stay on lanes or push a specific lane or go for a boss or something like that. Okay, it can be more beneficial. Now from the 40 games I played, I never once really felt that. Okay, but then again I wasn't playing exactly in competitive conditions. Alright, so that may change. That's seriously my only issue with that battleground. Okay, now you should know that the map usually snowballs really hard, okay, really hard in one direction. That's not to say that comeback situations are not possible. Okay, so from the 40, I actually looked at my replays because I was genuinely curious, and for the 40 games I played, there were like 4 or 5 comeback situations. Okay, and that's a decent number, far better than Battlefield of Eternity. Okay, so it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but actual comebacks can happen, and for me that's a big plus. Okay, I love those epic comeback situations. So overall guys, I really dig the new battleground. I think it's great. I think it's a great addition to Heroes of the Storm, and for certain a lot better than Battlefield of Eternity. As for actual tips, I can tell you that you need to favor heroes with high area of effect capabilities. Okay, when it comes to warriors, go for Leoric. When it comes to assassins, Jaina, Kael, obviously. Now the point is, because of the shrines, you need to have a lot of AoE to kill multiple of those little minions at once. That's pretty much the key from what I played so far. And well, that's pretty much it. Currently it's not available on the live servers, but it will come next week, which is, let me see exactly the date when it should come, 26th of August. Alright, again, I've had a blast playing the map, I absolutely love it. Now our next topic is talent changes to non-hero specific talents, and we're gonna start off with Bolt of the Storm. Now let me read you what the actual developer comments are, in case you did not read them for yourself. So we love this talent and think it can create a lot of really interesting moments, but the cooldown was just too short. At 70 seconds we think this talent is still a great level 20 pick, but now players will have to be more strategic when and how they use it. Forcing someone to use their bolt to avoid a gan can now be a meaningful moment with this increased cooldown, like it wasn't already, but okay. We hope this also entices players towards choosing their heroic upgrades instead of Bolt when the situation calls for it. So there's the problem. I understand. Okay, so they're increasing the cooldown of Bolt of the Storm from 40 seconds 40 to 70 seconds 70. That's a huge change. That's a 75% increase in actual cooldown. Now obviously the reasons are legit here. They're saying the first part would cool down too short, that's BS, but the second part is what you want to look at. We hope this also entices players towards choosing their heroic. So we're not playing with the toys they gave us. Okay, we're not actually choosing upgrades to ultimate all that much. I mean, if I actually take a look at meta builds for most heroes, there are very few who actually take upgrades to the heroic ultimates. Now I like this from one point of view because I always wanted to play with the upgrades to the heroic ultimates, okay, to the heroic abilities. But a Bolt, when most of the time, okay, especially on Kayle, Jaina, Zagara, and so on and so forth, were a must-have. You got to have Bolt of the Storm on these guys. And now with this cooldown, will we use it? This is the big question. Will people still go for Bolt? I think so. Okay, I believe so. Now, there are some good upgrades to ultimates in the games which I would love to play around with, but again, Bolt is just so damn good. So yeah, I think players will keep using Bolt going forward, especially on a competitive level. But yeah, this will give us a chance to actually play with upgrade to heroic abilities. Overall, what I can say about this, I hate their mentality. I hate the way they're going about it. Instead of making the upgrades to heroic abilities more enticing and attractive, you're just nerfing Bolt. The way they're going about it pisses me off. But yeah, I guess this can work good for the game, I guess. Well, anyway, let's move on to Cleanse. Now Cleanse no longer takes the target unstoppable for 1 second. Okay, so no more unstoppable for Cleanse for 1 second. Now adds Relentless to the target for 2 seconds, 50% shorter CC duration. Now this was done so you can no longer pre-cleanse, and from my point of view this is a welcome change. Okay, you can no longer pre-cleanse Tyrael's ultimate, which was what was it called, that charge of his, whatever, and you can no longer pre-cleanse the Butcher's charge and so on and so forth. It was too strong. And what happens when a talent is too strong? It gets to be mandatory. Cleanse was mandatory on most supports, okay, and to me, it only from the start it seemed extremely strong. So I'm really happy with this. Okay, I'm happy they did this to. I mean, it will still be useful. Cleanse will still be picked up, no question. But I want it to be a choice. I don't want it to be forced on me. Okay, you gotta have Cleanse, period, because it's just so strong. So it's a pretty good change from my point of view. Now let's move on to something that's less great. Focused attacks. Alright, so they changed this. The increased damage effect will now only trigger when hitting heroes, and I would like to read you the developer comments here as well. This could be viewed as a buff or a nerf depending on how players perceive it. Really? You can still reduce the cooldown by attacking minions, but won't accidentally waste a burst of damage on an unintended target. This talent will no longer be as effective at sieging, but it should be significantly better at harassing in lane. We will continue to monitor the talent and tune as necessary. Now, again, as with the actual change to Bolt of the Storm, I have a problem with the actual mentality behind this. So check this out. You can still reduce the cooldown by attacking minions, but won't accidentally waste a burst of damage. Blizzard, that's called a mistake. If you actually wasted your burst of damage from focused attack, that is a mistake made by the player. I don't have a problem with it actually being less effective at sieging, less effective at clearing mercs, at doing bosses and so on and so forth. That's fine. But do we really need to dumb things down even more? It doesn't get more casual than Heroes of the Storm. Why did you need to dumb this down too? If a player wasted his burst of damage, wasted his stack of focused attack on a minion, on a whatever, then that's his bad. That's what we call a mistake. You are preventing people from actually making mistakes? So yeah, I kind of have a problem with this, and I think I made my point pretty clear. So let's move on to Gathering Power. Gathering Power was simply too good and was considered by many a mandatory pick on certain characters, which often led to snowballing. Yes, it was a snowball talent, you put it in the game. We like the quest aspect of this talent, like I'm playing an RPG, but it was too easy to reach the cap and the quest didn't feel meaningful to complete. Now choosing this talent should no longer be mandatory and the quest is much longer. Players will keep half their stacks upon dying, which will help act as a checkpoint. Okay, so the 5% starting ability power has been removed. Percentage gain for killing hero reduced from 2% to 1%. Instead of losing all stacks on death, players will now only lose half their stacks, rounding up. Oh boy. Well, I like it. I honestly like it. I never liked gathering power as a talent, okay? And again, as I mentioned at Cleanse, it was a mandatory pick for a lot of heroes in their meta builds. So I like this, okay? However, I think they overdid it a little bit, okay? I think that gathering power will fly off everybody's list right now, okay? I don't really see who else will be using gathering power right now. I mean, Kale used it, Nova used it. I'm not seeing those heroes using it, especially with the changes to Kale anymore. I mean, I'm okay with the fact that they nerfed it because it was a mandatory pick, okay? I'm great with this because, again, talents should be a choice. Nothing forced upon me like you gotta have this build, if not you're not playing the hero correctly because it's not as efficient and so on and so forth. So I like talents to be an actual choice. That's cool, that's great, that's awesome. But who will pick gathering power now? Seriously, you must have a really garbage tier in order to pick up gathering power right now. 15 kills? You want me to get 15 kills without dying as an assassin? Oh boy. Yeah, so I think this will fly off most builds, to be honest. But I like the power, I like the actual change, I like that they nerfed it. I just think they overdid it a little bit. Let's move on to Imposing Presence. Now, let's see what they say. Statistically, it was almost never wrong to choose Imposing Presence. With this nerf, it's still a great counter in the right situation, and as a result, we're hoping we'll see more play from our basic attack assassins. This is the key part at the end. More play from our basic attack assassins. Now, the attack speed slow duration has been decreased from 50 to 40% for Imposing Presence. That's fine, that's okay, that's cool, whatever. But the next part is really killer. The attack speed slow will now be removed when attacking a target that has not learned the Imposing Presence talent. Oh brother, why? If you actually don't check your opponents to see what talents they got and you actually focused a tank, you attacked a tank, alright, with this talent on, why should you not get punished for it? Again, dumbing it down even further. We don't need that, Blizzard. It's casual enough, okay? You got all the casuals. We're here, we're playing, we're doing our casual thing. Stop with the dumbing down, okay? Soon you'll have Autobots for everything. I'm okay with the actual attack speed slow reduction. I'm not okay with the second part, that it will be removed when attacking a target that has not learned the Imposing Presence talent. That's just BS, okay? Again, dumbing it down even further. Why did they do this? Apart from dumbing it down, if you look at the changes as a whole, okay, that came in this actual patch, but we'll get to that. You will see that they wanted to bring more power to actually auto-attack heroes, like Vala is not getting enough play, alright? So that's why they did. They tried to balance out the actual spell damage dealers, knock them down a little bit, and bring up the auto-attack assassins a little bit. That's kind of my feeling with this overall patch. So let's move on with Mercenary Lord. You know what? I never cared, and a lot of people really don't care or use Mercenary Lord. The point here is that the functionality of the superiority talent has been rolled into Mercenary Lord, okay, and the superiority has been removed from the game. I didn't care before, I still won't care now. There are very niche tactics with Mercenary Lord and superiority. I have seen them work very, very, very rarely. I didn't care before and I still don't care now, so let's move on to Seasoned Marksman. Let's see. Stacks earned by killing enemy heroes increase from 2 to 3. Okay, if you guys remember in the first part, they removed the actual bonus you would get from neutral creeps, but they reworked the talent again for auto attack heroes, buffing them. Stacks earned by killing enemy heroes increase from 2 to 3. Nice. Only minions captured, enemy mercenaries and heroes will grant stacks upon death. So overall, this is a buff. Okay, yes, they did remove the possibility of you getting a stack from neutral creeps, but the stacks earned by healing from killing heroes increased from 2 to 3. I think more than makes up for it. Okay, so this will give a hair bit more power to actual auto attack heroes. Not a lot from my point of view. Now, because I rambled on enough, I'm gonna sum up hero changes under the form of a conclusion, because, well, that's what you're interested in, right? So let's start off with Falstad. Mighty Gust buff means we will see Mighty Gust more often. Please don't pick Mighty Gust unless you know what you're doing, thank you. Jaina, Ring of Frost buff and Water Elemental nerf means we will see a bit more Ring of Frost. Is it more viable than Water Elemental? It's better for wombo combos and less good for actual chasing down a specific target or focus damage. Kael'thas, a lot of changes to Kael'thas. I've been playing him a lot in ranked gameplay. My overall feelings on him that he does less damage. He needed the nerf because his power surge at level 16 was just obscene, but he's got newfound utility through his gravity lapse, which I have been using with the Netherwind talent to great effect. Kerrigan is less sucky, but still not viable. Try again, Blizzard, seriously rework this character. It's a one-trick pony that most people don't really love. Come on, rework Kerrigan, will ya? Jimmy Raynor. Raynor overall is pretty much the same. If you ask me, he's been getting indirect buff because of Seasoned Marksman, but no more damage on Bullseye, which players really hate. Moving on to Thrall. Thrall is still mediocre to garbage, and the modifications brought to him will not change that. Aperture. Players of Aperture really happy with the Toxic next actual modification, the cooldown reduction from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, and the bonus damage increase from 50% to 75%. You know what this means, guys, god damn it. They're gonna be Toxic Nest all over the freaking battleground. It's fun, I guess, for the Aperture player and not so fun for the enemy players. Asmodan has been getting an increase in actual fighting capability. Will he still be a blob easy to kill on the map? A fat slug who just moves very slowly and is just a pain, but you gotta kill him. Yeah, he'll still be that, but now he will be a bit more dangerous. His actual hero damage capabilities have been increased. Nazebo, guys, I've been playing a lot with a Nazebo on my team, and I've been seeing some pretty high numbers in actual damage for Nazebo. Unfortunately, the Ravenous Spirit, the changes to Ravenous Spirit's damage increased. The actual damage increase we got for Ravenous Spirit, I don't think that will be enough to actually bring Ravenous Spirit back. If you remember, at one point Ravenous Spirit was the way to go for Nazebo. Yay! Blizzard nerfed it to the ground. Gargantuan was the way to go, and now Ravenous Spirits is getting a bit of a buff. I don't know if it's an actual choice between Gargantuan and Ravenous Spirit now, but I have been seeing Nazebo players without Ravenous Spirit doing obscene amounts of damage. Sergeant Hammer, very small modifications to Sergeant Hammer, making no real change. Siege mode cooldown decreased, mana cost reduced, health increased. Artillery trade damage bonus against distant target increased from 20 to 30, whatever. Sylvanas, nothing. Support on Brightwing, healing increased on Soothing Mist, means he will actually pork out acceptable, not great, okay, healing numbers on the actual score screen, okay, we're talking about score screen healing, nothing that should concern you too much. So overall, Brightwing is mostly the same, with a bit more healing for Soothing Mist. Malfurion, check this out, guys, one change but so important. Initial heal bonus from Rampant Growth increased from 20% to 50%. Yay, burst healing. Now, to be honest, he's gotta be the top support right now. There's just no question, you know, it's gotta be like Malfurion, Uther, and who cares who's third. Yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. I have Malfurion and I love playing him. Rhaegar, cooldown decreased on Bloodlust Water Joke. Players will still be going for the healing ultimate. Now Tassadar, Tassadar has been getting a bit of changes here. Let's see, Oracle, the trait cooldown increased from 30 to 14. The mental acuity talent, I don't know how you say this, cooldown reduction increased from 50 to 20 seconds, and Plasma Shield mana cost decreased from 60 to 50. Minion Bulwark has been removed. Reinforced Structure moved from level 4 to level 1, and Psy Storm mana cost decreased, and the Psy Infusion talent mana return per target hit reduced again. I don't know about Tassadar, guys. He's still a niche pick in actual competitive gameplay from my point of view, and still should be only taken by players that know what the hell they're doing with the wall. Gens, they're garbage. Leoric has been getting a serious nerf to his actual respawn capabilities. Okay, so overall Leoric will come back to life a lot less soon than he did. It was getting out of hand, to be honest. Level 20 plus Leorics were just staying like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, maybe 10 seconds dead, which is bullshit. Okay, yes, you still get the XP, but at level 20 plus it doesn't really matter that much anymore. So yeah, welcome nerf to Leoric's actual respawn ability. Skeletal Swing no longer deals 100 increased damage to struckers. Boo! That sucks. What, did you guys play Pusher Leoric? He was kinda cool, not viable, but he was just fun in quick match. I don't know why they nerfed this. They should have left this alone. Moving on to Sonya, her health has been increased and her actual health scaling has been increased. Now let's talk about Whirlwind, because this is the actual interesting part. Healing reduced from 25 to 20% of damage dealt. However, healing for damage dealt to heroes has increased from double to triple. And Life Funnel, the actual talent healing bonus, decreased from 10% to 5% of actual damage dealt. Now Sonya will still do what Sonya does. She will solo merc camps and solo bosses, and depending on what map you are on, this can be extremely efficient. However, I have received a replay from a member of my community which was very disturbing, alright? Now in this specific replay, a Sonya wrecks an entire team. A 4v4 team fight starts, everything normal, and then the Sonya just destroys the entire team. It was a bit disturbing, to be honest. She kept herself alive with Whirlwind and just absolutely wrecked the enemy team. Now given that that specific Sonya, judging by the footage I saw, was pretty good, but still that's a bit disturbing. I need to test this out, and if Sonya is the new hot stuff, I will definitely let you guys know as soon as possible. Let's move on to Tyrael. Ah, the Archangel. I love Tyrael. Now, we're going to talk about Sanctification. No longer requires Tyrael to channel the ability. All heroes, including Tyrael, will be invulnerable while within Sanctification's area of effect. Now has a 0.5 second cast time, cooldown increase from 50 to 70. Area of effect radius reduced by approximately 53%. Damn it, Blizzard, why couldn't you just let the area as it was? It would have been so strong. I wanted to take it to rank and troll. Now basically Sanctification does what it does, what it did up until this point. It counters every wombo combo you can throw at it. But now Tyrael is actually useful and no longer sits there looking almighty and stuff. Now Judgment, casting time increased from 0.5 to 0.75. Judgment's target is now briefly revealed upon casting. So why did they did this? Well, to be honest, you know those embarrassing situations when you cast Judgment and Tyrael's all with his sword down, and then the target you had just goes out of range and you don't cast your ulti. Yeah, that's why. Now new art has been added and will better notify the target of an incoming judgment. Yeah, that's good actually. To be honest, when you heard that embrace judgment and you were looking at, oh yeah, who got targeted? Who's getting hit? You know, who do I need to cleanse, help, heal, and all that stuff. So that's good. And that will conclude actual hero changes as well. Now please keep in mind, guys, that these are my opinions. You may have a different one. That's fine. That's how we actually learn. If you have one, post it in the comment section down below. I'm gonna thank you for watching. My name has been Leyzar. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will definitely see you again soon.